Hello, Kyle here. So, Nuit Blanche 2016. It certainly was an experience. I had to work an 8-hour day beforehand, so I wasn't exactly at my best for setup. I left work at 6 o'clock, made it to the shop around 6:45. Nuit Blanche starts at 7, so I really didn't exactly have a whole lot of time to make it work the way I wanted it to. Fortunately, I had a very solid plan A and a plan B just in case plan A failed. So I run up to the shop and I realize all of the spots that I had sort of mentally queued off that I think would work well weren't available to me. I'd have to go outside, which meant the weather and all those other issues that I was worried about would actually be relevant concerns. So I wasn't too upset because, all right, that's why I have a plan B. So I started attempting to execute plan B, and it was utterly failing. So I realized I gotta improvise. I'm stuck. Fortunately, I have a whole bunch of scrap materials around, so I can build something really quick. While I was at work, other members of the shop had done a really excellent job doing a big shop cleanup. Some of my wood, I guess, wasn't labeled as well as it should have been, which meant it all got tossed, so I couldn't invent a plan C because I didn't have any materials to make a support with. Anyway, I eventually scrambled together, and there was a wooden flower box that I just ended up stapling my thing to and put a bit of tape to just to clean it up and secure it. Out of the two halves of the hexadecagon, I ended up using one of them as a bottom, just sort of as a weight to prevent the wind from blowing it around a bit. There were actually a fair number of flowers and plants in the garden that kind of got trapped underneath a sheet of mylar, which gave these really cool sort of shimmering ripple effects. That was something I played around with a bit while I was building this, but I didn't end up using that design in the final artwork. And when I saw the sort of organic nature of the plant matter, I thought that actually added a lot to the piece. It made it much more visually interesting. So it's one of those happy accidents. I didn't think of it, I didn't plan on it, but it happened, and I'm happy with it. I'm happier that it had it than I would have been had it not had it. But after setting up, which I was hoping, if everything went perfectly, it would have taken 15 minutes, but because everything failed, it ended up taking closer to 45 minutes. So I headed home, had a dinner, attempted to have a nap, got back to the shop around midnight, and my piece was still working flawlessly. It looked great. The whole shop, everything at Site 3's Nuit Blanche exhibit, I thought looked excellent. You know, I was very proud of our shop for putting on such a wonderful show, so thank you to all my fellow Site 3 co-artists. You've done excellent work. When you work an 8-hour day, you're only able to snap in a maybe hour, maybe an hour and a half nap, and then you have to be up for another 12 hours, because Nuit Blanche is roughly 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday. Got home 7:30. I was just completely wrecked. Went to bed, and I slept for 8 freaking hours. I didn't wake up until 3:30. That's 2 days worth of sleep I got in one night, and I thought it would have completely wrecked my schedule for the whole rest of the week. But then I still managed to actually pull in 6 hours of sleep the next night, which is still like a day and a half worth of sleep. So I was really wrecked, and I went to bed early that night. I think I'm getting old because Nuit Blanche took a lot more out of me than it ever has in the past. Scotiabank dropped their sponsorship, so everything felt a little bit scaled back this year. However, I thought that was actually a really positive turn of events for Nuit Blanche, because it meant that all those swarms of roving drunken idiots that just cause trouble and steal things and break stuff and throw up everywhere and just give everyone a hard time, they were nowhere to be found. It was all good, awesome, happy, accepting, lovely art people. So thank you. The audiences, you really made this the best Nuit Blanche. So thank you, everyone.